Welcome to Bradford Cathedral, and to all of you at home, this comes with great love and our prayers. It's a strange time. We're all at home, or should be at home if we're doing as we're told, and here at the cathedral we're no different. The doors are closed to our beautiful cathedral, but our Christian sense of place is very much alive and vibrant. And around you can see that the flowers are flowering and things are beginning to spring into life. So it's Easter time. I don't know about you, but I'm always excited by the best day of the whole year in the Christian calendar. I always approach it with a sense of awe and excitement and anticipation. The joyous news as the two Marys walked to that Easter garden on that first morning and discovered it was empty and Jesus had risen. Now, because we are in lockdown and we're all trying to find a way to celebrate Easter in a different way, I have been rummaging around the cathedral gardens to see what I could come up with to make our Easter garden. But of course, what I'm going to show you is just to be a springboard for your own creative imaginations, and I know you at home are going to do some amazing things. So at the end of this film, there's going to be an invitation for you to have a go at home doing these things, but to share what you've been doing by sending pictures to the cathedral so we can put them on the website and celebrate that Jesus is risen. So I have been rummaging around the grounds here at this beautiful place that you can see. You can see we've got things beginning to come into life. We've got the daffodils. Some of the tulips are just beginning to come out behind me. And I've been looking for all sorts of resources in the gardens here. And so on the table before me is an example of the things that you can use to create your Easter garden. But really this is about your imagination and allowing it to run riot. So let's get started with our Easter garden. Now here I'm using this small container. You can use any container at all, but of course get permission first in case one of your family want to use it for something else. I've popped compost into mine. If you're using compost, wear gloves, but my compost is in here already. I had a look around the cathedral gardens and I found these lovely pieces of slate. So I'm going to use those to build my tomb. I'm going to pop it right into the middle of my compost. So start by giving some walls. I think you have to dig it in quite deep so that the walls stay nice and firm. So there we go. This is quite a big tomb I'm building. I'm going to pop this one in as a floor because it was a stone tomb and it needs a roof. Let's see if we can find, this piece looks like quite a good piece for a roof, doesn't it? Maybe another piece just to give a better sense of a roof. Now the thing is, on that first Easter morning, when the two Marys wandered down to the garden, they were quite worried about how they were going to move the huge stone that was in front of the tomb. And when they got there, they discovered, to their absolute amazement, it had already been moved. So I'm just going to take this piece of slate here and I'm just going to pop it there to the side because it's no longer in the front, it's on the side. So we're ready to start decorating our garden. The next thing I'm going to pop into my garden is a reminder of what happened on Good Friday. And Jesus, of course, was crucified. And he was crucified with two other people. Jesus was innocent. And so as a reminder of that, I'm going to pop my crosses just over here. So the bigger one in the centre is for Jesus, and then these two at the side. Now to make these crosses, I've just simply used twigs from the gardens and a little bit of twine just to tie them together. You could use other things to make your crosses, cocktail sticks, whatever comes to hand. Not everybody has fallen branches, but here at the cathedral we have some wonderful trees. So there's my 3 crosses just in the background to remind us of what happened on Good Friday. Now it just so happens in my garden I had some gravel, so I thought I'd create a path. I don't have lots of grass that I could put in here, so I'm going to create a gravelly path. So I gave it a little bit of a wash just to make the colour stand out a little bit, and I'm going to put my gravel path and I'm going to curve it round. I have a feeling that It's quite a dry land and there's lots of kind of stones and gravelly bits. So I'm just going to create my path and I'm going to just curve it round here. Just to give us a sense of places people could walk. And maybe just a couple of other little boulders around the place just for artistic license. Of course, you can do whatever you want with your gardens. I'm just going to pop those there. Got a tomb, and we've got the 3 crosses, and I've popped in a little gravelly path. Now that kind of feels very much like Good Friday, you know, darker colours and not much life. And of course, we know that when Jesus died, the whole world, the whole of creation went silent and the sun went dark. But this is Easter morning, and this is where it gets fun. I have a feeling that the whole world sprang into life. So I've had a look around and I found some things that I thought I really fancied popping into my garden. I've got these little pieces of heather and I thought these would make quite a nice little flowering bush in the background, so I'm going to just pop those in. I think the sun's dried them out a little bit, but that's okay. So I'm just going to pop these in. Of course, when you're doing it, you'll have a little bit more time, so I'm just going to pop those in for a little colour. I found these plants as well, flowering, so I'm going to pop these in as well. This is quite a big one actually. I might just trim that a little bit. So I'm going to add that, a bit more colour over here. And yes, why not? We'll have some here. And then I think we'll have some flowers. So I found these paper flowers that you can use for card making. So I'm just going to pop these around my gardens. It looks rather pretty. I like the colour of yellow. It reminds me of sunshine and things being happy and people being happy. And we've got some blue flowers here as well. So I'm just going to pop a few of these. Of course, you can put as many as you like in. Now the Easter garden is beginning to spring into life, but I think we could do with a bit more. So I found these from a local arts and crafts shop. I'm just going to pop that, a little butterfly, because butterflies just remind us that there are things going on here. And then, because this is my Easter garden, and really you can do your Easter garden however you like, I've found these little sheep cut out, so I'm going to have a little flock of sheep now grazing over here. I think we'll just have 3 for now. There we go. So there's 3 sheep in the background. But there is one thing missing from my Easter garden. Now Jesus has obviously risen from the dead, so the tomb is empty. So I wonder if you can guess who I'm going to put into the garden next. Now for the final touch. Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James, came to the garden. I have these 2 Lego figures, and if you look carefully at their faces, you can see they're looking very sad and very worried. They're sad because the person they loved more than anything in the world was Jesus, and he had died. They're looking worried because they don't know how the tombstone is going to be rolled away. But they snuck out early that first Easter morning to the garden. I'm going to pop them here, just to the side of the path. I'm hoping they'll stand up. Oh, there we go, just about standing up, and they're looking a bit worried at the moment. But they're going to meet somebody in that garden. And to begin with, they're going to think he's the gardener. And then they're going to find out he's not. But of course, that wasn't the end of the story, because the Mary's faces changed as they discovered the most remarkable truth. The garden is flowering, the birds are singing, the butterflies are fluttering, because new life has started. And as they looked into the empty tomb, they met the stranger that wasn't a stranger, because they discover that Jesus is indeed alive. And their worried faces first of all turned to astonishment, disbelief, amazement, and then joy as they run back to tell the others. So there's the Easter garden, but I think yours might be even better. So I invite you to get creative and have a go. You can make your gardens outside or inside. You could paint them, Draw them, create them, let your imagination run riot, and we'd love to see what you do. Take a photo and send it to us at eastergarden@bradfordcathedral.org. We are excited to see them and look forward to posting them on our website. Happy Easter.